Happy Wednesday, first graders and first grade families. Welcome to today's math lesson. As you can probably hear, I'm doing much better today than yesterday. Thank you for the get well wishes. And it's been a while, friends, since we've seen our cubes anchor chart. This one's a little bit smaller than the one in the classroom. Not quite as beautiful as the one Miss Canali made, but I tried my best. So today, friends, we are going to use our cube strategy and our place value drawing strategy to solve some number stories with double-digit addition problems in them. That sounds super hard, but if we take it one step at a time, you're already going to know how to do all of these steps. So let's review our cubes. Remember, we have C, circle the numbers. U, underline the question. B, box the keywords. E, evaluate. And then S, solve, solve, solve. So I'm going to keep my cubes poster handy while I do all the steps for cubes, and then once I have my evaluate here, I'll use my place value strategy, drawing strategy, to solve the problem. I'm going to use the same colors on my cubes poster, but if you only have one color or just a pencil, that's fine. You don't need any colors, but it'll just make it a little bit easier for me to show you. So the first thing I want to do is circle the numbers in the story. Mr. Mack had 23 pairs of socks. Mrs. Mack got him 16 more pairs of socks. How many socks does Mr. Mack have all together? Now, I know a lot of you will know right away you want to jump right to evaluate, but as our number stories get a little bit longer and the numbers get a little bit bigger, this cube strategy is really going to help you not to make silly mistakes. So even if you think you're already at evaluate and you got the number sentence, that's awesome, but just go through all the steps just to make sure that you don't make a silly mistake and get the problem wrong. So I'm going to circle my numbers, 23 and 16. Then you underline the question, and remember I'm going to find my question by the sentence that ends with the question mark. Now we don't want to make the mistake of just underlining this line. We want to underline the whole question. And I can find where that sentence starts by looking for the period before it, and then the new sentence that starts with a capital letter H right here. So how many socks does Mr. Mack have all together? That is the question. B, box the keywords. Now remember, the keywords are the words that are telling us whether we're doing addition or subtraction. So Mr. Mack had 23 pairs of socks. Mrs. Mack got him 16 more pairs of socks. How many socks does Mr. Mack have all together? Okay, so I see two different things I want to box here. 16 more. All right, more is telling me I might be doing addition, right? Because if I had less, the word less is telling us subtraction. And another thing, in the question we have all together. Remember, all together is one of those key terms that again is giving me a hint that we're probably going to be adding here. Key terms for subtraction are leftover or remaining. But all together or in all or in total those are our addition terms. Okay, so E, evaluate, we're going to use our numbers, our question, and our key terms to create our number sentence when we evaluate. So I know that my numbers are 16 and 23. And I know that my question and my key terms are telling me to add them. Now the final step in cubes is to solve, solve, solve. So if you want to use your number grid to solve this problem by hopping and sliding, you can. I think for me it's a little bit easier to draw my numbers and place value and add them up. So that's the strategy I'm going to use, but you can use whichever strategy you like best. So I'm going to draw tens first. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Then for 23, 10, 20, 21, 22, 23. Now again, I like to get a different color and cross out as I count, so I don't count any of my drawings twice, and I count up all the 10s first. 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. So 16 socks plus 23 socks would give me a total of 39 socks. So that would be my answer. We'll do 2 more together, and then there will be 5 problems for you to solve in your seesaw assignment. Okay. So let's get our cubes poster back under here. The next number story says Jalen had 14 building flakes. Ava shared 21 of her flakes with him. How many flakes does Jalen have in all? The first thing I'm going to do is circle my numbers. That was very kind of you, Ava, to share with Jalen. The next thing I need to do is underline my question. The question in a number story usually comes at the end. So I'm going to start at my question mark, and then I want to go all the way back to the beginning of that whole sentence. That whole sentence is the question. How many flakes does Jalen have in all? If we just underline this, it would say Jalen have in all. That doesn't make any sense. How many flakes does Jalen have in all? All right, box the key terms. Again, the key terms, we're searching for words that tell us addition or subtraction. Okay, so I have in all again. We know in all is an addition term. This one's a little tricky because I see one here that when we had our poster in the classroom of these key terms, I don't think this one was on here. This is a little tricky. But Ava shared 21 of her flakes with him. What word in there is telling us that Jalen's getting more flakes? Ava shared 21 of her flakes with him. It's the word shared. Right? If Ava took 21 flakes, that would be subtraction. But Ava would never do that. So we have shared and in all telling us it's going to be an addition problem. Now we have our question, we have our numbers, and we have our key terms. So we have everything that we need to evaluate, which is to give us our number sentence. So our numbers, we had 14 flakes, 21 flakes, and we are adding. Now let's use the place value drawing to go ahead and solve. (10, 11, 12, 13, 14 plus 10, 20, 21. Total up our drawings. 10, 20, 30. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So 14 plus 21 equals 35. And I want us to start getting into the habit in these number stories here to start writing our unit, which is the object that we're talking about in the question. In the last question, it was socks. So I didn't just say 39. I wrote 39 socks. In this number story, our unit is flakes. So 35 flakes is our answer. All right, let's do one more together, and then you can try 5 of them in your seesaw assignment. Hold on. My cat is going to knock over my coffee. Okay, we're back. All right, Ben was playing with his 33 Pokemon cards. Dom brought his 42 Pokemon cards to play with Ben. What is the total number of Pokemon cards? First things first, circle my numbers. 33 and 42. Underline the question. I want to make sure I get this whole sentence here that has the question mark at the end. What is the total number of Pokemon cards? I'm going to search for these key words, these key terms that tell me addition or subtraction. Ben was playing with his Pokemon cards. Dom brought his 42 Pokemon cards to play with Ben. What is the total number of Pokemon cards? So right here I have total. Remember, total, sum, all together, in all. Those are our addition terms. If we had leftover or remaining, those would be our subtraction terms. And this is another one that's a little tricky too, similar to shared. I would circle brought, because if he brought more Pokemon cards with him, we're getting more. If he took Pokemon cards away back home with him, then we would be subtracting. So I'm going to circle total or box total and brought for my key terms. Now again, we have everything we need to evaluate. We have our numbers, our operation, we know we're adding, and we have our question. So we know we had 33 Pokemon cards and 42 Pokemon cards, and we were adding. All right. Now let's solve. 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33. 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42. Let's total them up. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75. So that I have 75. And I want to make sure I get my unit. What are we talking about here? We're talking about Pokemon cards. 75 Pokemon cards. All right, friends, so you have 5 number stories to go ahead and solve in your Seesaw assignment. But before we do that, let's take a look at how you would have solved 33 plus 42 using your number grid. So I want to start at 33, and to add 42, I would take my